Have you ever wondered how savvy home buyers find incredible deals that seem just too good to be true? Well, in this video, I'm going to unveil the secrets to snapping up those home deals for less than you ever imagined. So I have 7 topics for you today. So stick around. I think you're going to love this. Number 1, what's the best way to get a savvy home deal? In today's environment, as I'm recording this right now, buy new construction, right? There are tons of incentives right now, lots of incentives. They're buying down interest rates. They're offering huge discounts. They're trying to get to the year end with money in their pocket, trying to get rid of any inventory that they might have, right? So buying new construction is tip number 1 if you want to get a great deal right now. Tip number 2, buy off-market properties. So what's an off-market property? An off-market property is something that's not listed for sale by a real estate agent. In other words, it's not on the MLS, it's not on Zillow, it's not on the internet anywhere, it's nowhere. The only people that know that that house is for sale is the homeowner and whoever found that house. I have what I call the perfect home finder, where I go out there and find those homes that are not on the MLS, they're not on Zillow, they're off market. So no one knows they're available. There's no lockbox, no sign, no nothing going on. And then I get those houses over to my perfect home buyers to where they can buy a house not on the market. It's absolutely critical that you understand what that means and why that's important. When you have a house that's not on the MLS, remember this past summer and over the past couple of years, there was bidding wars on almost every house that was out there. Put a house in the market, it absolutely goes bananas. People are paying over asking price. They're having to get rid of appraisal contingencies and inspection contingencies and all those things. It was absolutely nuts. Really, really tough to buy a house below market value when that happens. But when you can get access to off-market properties, where no one knows they're available, right? It puts you at a distinct advantage. Number 1, you're not in a bidding war. Number 2, you can get great terms. Number 3, you can have the right timing that you're looking for. And number 4, and many of my real estate agent friends may hate me for saying this, but oh well, you could probably get a discount on the commission, because if I'm representing both sides of that transaction, or indeed I'm bringing you the buyer to that transaction, we can do it at a much more reasonable cost than if it was on the MLS and there was 2 agents involved. I think you get that. If there's 2 agents involved, 2 commission checks get written, right? So it allows you to save a lot of money on commissions and other fees. So like I say, I can't stress this enough. Probably the number 1 way to buy a house below market value right now is to buy off-market properties. And if you do need access to those off-market properties, of course, I'm going to have a video below and you can always reach out to me and we can talk about it more. So that's number 2. Number 3, negotiate like a beast, right? There's lots of things inside of a real estate contract that can be negotiated. Every single line that's filled in an offer to purchase can be negotiated, and you don't have to negotiate them all at once. Now, we could talk for hours about negotiating, but you have to negotiate like a beast. Many of the people out there in the world don't negotiate for a living. Like I negotiate for a living. I've closed over 1,000 houses, right? So I'm negotiating all day, every day. And if you, the consumer, you, the purchaser, you, the prospect, don't have a job where you're negotiating every single day, no offense, but perhaps you might not have the skills of someone that does negotiate every single day for a living. There's a lot of things that go into negotiation. And I can tell you this, it starts with the initial phone call, whether that initial phone call is to another agent, to a homeowner, right? We're talking about you, the buyer right now. Maybe it's to a homeowner. It starts with that initial conversation and understanding human behavior and understanding their personality profile. Like I say, we could talk for hours about negotiating. I've made it my passion and my living to be an expert negotiator. So tip number 3 is the bottom line. You have to negotiate like a beast. Number 4, best ways to get properties below market value. Find distressed properties, properties that need sweat equity or perhaps they're foreclosures, or perhaps they're in short sale situations. Find distressed properties that can allow you to buy below market value, because you're going to put your sweat equity into it and raise up that value once you live in it. Number 5, many people don't talk about this, but I love this. Investment groups. I have a group called the Wealth Builder Alliance, where there's a select group of people inside of my membership that are able to get access to off-market properties and properties where homeowners want to sell directly to investors, all cash. It's a fantastic way to get access to properties that are below market value. So investor groups, there's all kinds of them out there. You can hit the Google machine and find some of those out there. I personally, of course, am biased. I love my Wealth Builder Alliance. It's an investment group to where we cater specifically to those investors looking for long-term rentals, or perhaps you, the homeowner, looking for long-term hold on a house. We could talk about that. You just reach out to me and let me know. Number 6, Number 6, estate sales. Yes, those are a great way. The baby boomers flat out are just getting older, and they're inheriting houses, and other people, descendants of those baby boomers, are inheriting houses, and many times they are not in the same state or same area that they live in. And so they run across this challenge of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this house? I got grandma's house. She lives 5 states away, or excuse me, yeah, she lives 5 states away. I don't know any agents over there. I have no connections over there. I don't know what to do. And so estate sales are a terrific place to buy properties below market value. And I have relationships with probate attorneys and estate attorneys to where they reach out, call me and say, hey, Jim, I got a client here that needs help. What can you do to help them? They need a trash out. They need this, they need that. What can we do to help them from stem to stern in order to get their property sold? So it's a great resource for my folks out there looking to buy below market value, or estate sales. And number 7 as well is what I call the RWA buyer. RWA is an industry standard term that stands for ready, willing, and able buyer. If you want to be in the best position to negotiate and to get your case over to that home seller, be sure that you have a certified RWA status, because it's going to just dramatically affect the negotiations. It's dramatically going to paint a picture of how you are ready to get that property and to be the right buyer for that property. And when I talk about RWA, ready, willing, and able, I'm talking about having all of your financing in place, having your team in place, and having clarity on exactly what you're looking for, where you're looking for it in that perfect home. So I want to give you an example of what happens behind the curtain here inside of the real estate industry. If I have a home listed right now and I get an offer from agent A, no offense towards agent A out there, but I get an offer from agent A and I get a quick text, because that's what happens in our industry. They send a quick text over. Hey, Jim, just sent you an offer on 123 Tilden Street. The financing is enclosed. The pre-qual, I'm sorry, slipped my mind a sec. The pre-qual is enclosed. If I get that text from an agent, hey, Jim, just sent an offer on 123 Tilden Street, pre-qual is enclosed, that's always good news for me, right? But if I get a phone call, or if I make a phone call and I call up that agent and I say, hey, Sally, I am going to be submitting an offer on 123 Main Street. I want to tell you about my RWA buyer. They are RWA certified. They're ready, willing, and able. Not only do we have our financing in place, we have our entire team in place. They already know who they're going to be selecting for their inspections. They already know who they're going to be selecting for their survey. They already know who they're going to be selecting for their closing attorney. They already know all of these things. And as well, they have already been introduced to my transaction coordinators to take them seamlessly from contract to close. So I'm going to go ahead and send that offer over to you. I just wanted to pass that along to you as we talk here in person, so you know exactly where my buyer is at. Those are two very different things when it comes to an RWA buyer. An agent that just reaches out and says, I've got an offer, here's a pre-qual letter, or someone old school. Yes, I'm old school. There's some gray in the hair up there. I'm old school. I'm not just going to send a text to that other agent if I'm representing you, the buyer. I'm going to call them up and have a conversation with them, talk to them about you, my buyer, who is certified RWA. You've been through my process. You have your financing in place, your team in place, all the people involved with the sale in place, my closing, my closing team in place to take you from contract to close. All of those things make a huge difference, and it puts you at a significant advantage when it comes to buying that house, because remember I said the negotiation starts with that initial conversation. So 7 things to keep in mind if you want to be buying a house in today's market undervalued. Let me review them real quick. Number 1, buy new construction. If you don't want to buy new construction and you want to buy another house, the single best option is to buy off-market properties. That's number 2. Number 3, negotiate that like a beast. Number 4, distressed properties. Always a great deal, distressed properties. Number 5, investment groups. Number 6, estate sales. And number 7, be sure that you are RWA certified. Become an RWA buyer. So with that, I have some additional material for you. You can either click on the see more on the bottom, watch another video that I'm going to pop up here. If you're watching on social media, maybe you can see my contact information up there. But anyway, there's more information for us to get in contact with one another. I would love to help you out. And with that, make it a great day. God bless, and we'll talk real soon.